Love and peace. Welcome to today's reading of the Holy Bible. We are going to discuss a single verse from the Holy Bible and dive into the depths of its meaning, or rather, the meanings that may arise from its reading. I want you to understand that I'm not here to offend anyone. This is merely to bring light to what appears to be light but has the potential to be deep darkness. Right? Therefore, you may have read the Holy Bible, and just because it says God is behind the Holy Bible, it doesn't mean that you have to buy it without certifying it in the first place. You see, before you believe anything, you must have enough reason why you are going to trade your trust for accepting and agreeing and acknowledging an ideology, a philosophy, a rule in life, or a particular principle you would like to hold on to. You see, just because you have the Holy Bible, it doesn't mean you have God with you. Right? So the Holy Bible was written by different men over different times in history. It's up to you. It's your responsibility to identify if the verses are indeed true. You understand? There are verses in the Bible that say that even Satan can transform into an angel of light. How sure are you that he didn't slip some of his verses into the Holy Bible? You know, some people say that the Holy Bible is corrupted. And have you investigated that claim? It might just be true. It might just be true. Therefore, I would like to urge you to consider that I'm not here to bash your religion. I'm not here to, put you down or make you feel small about yourself. Rather, I'd like to bring to light what you Christians have been doing. You see, you Christians have made the world look like they are all so useless. They are all going to hell. All the lesbians, the gays, the bisexuals, the transsexuals, and the queer people are just going to hell. Where did you get this from? Where did you get this from? From Sodom and Gomorrah? Is that where you got it from? Do you even know how it happened? Why it happened? It's not about homosexuality. It's got nothing to do with homosexuality. Basically, it's about you. How you perceive your life. For all you might know, it wasn't God who brought down the wrath on these men. It was rather Lot, the righteous one, who brought down the wrath on the people because he couldn't stand what he was seeing. Right? So, what you understand from the book may not be correct. You understand? So today I'm going to shed some light on the Holy Bible by bringing one particular verse out of the most beautiful book in the Bible. It's called the book of Proverbs. It promises wisdom. It promises to teach you wisdom, to learn understanding, and to have knowledge at the end of the day. There are 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs in the Holy Bible, and there is a potential that you could go wrong ridiculously. Because there is a verse in the book of Proverbs, it says, "There is a way that seems right to a man, but the end of it is death." Now tell me, how many of your pastors, how many of your prophets have died? They were never right in the end. You see, they were quite convincing, but that's just as far as they would go. They were great con men telling you that this is what God stands for. Or God stands for against this, against that. God stands for only one thing. He stands for love. And if you can't, accept that reality, unconditional love, then I believe you think you're God yourself. You think you're so perfect. Understand? So today's verse is from the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 24. And it reads, "Proud and haughty scorner is his name, who dealeth in proud wrath." Once again, I will read that for you. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 24. "Proud and haughty scorner is his name, who dealeth in proud wrath." Now, if you were to see this carefully, if you were to listen to it carefully, you will begin to see that Jehovah God, the God of the Holy Bible, was a very wrathful man. Not a man, a wrathful entity. He's a wrathful entity. He likes to bring wrath down on everybody. You don't keep his laws, he brings wrath down on you. Understand? He dealeth in proud wrath. He takes pride in his wrath. So I think this verse is talking about him. The very book that exalts him calls him a proud and haughty scorner. Because all Jehovah God is all about is just wrath. And that's just about it. And this wrath, apparently, is up to no good because you can never hold yourself back from sinning, from what you call sinning. There is no such thing as a sin. Follow your heart. It's when you don't follow your heart, that's when you sin against yourself. It's when you follow your heart, you're no longer in error. You know why you're doing what you're doing. If you love what you do, then that's a sign you're doing the right thing. But if you don't love the thing that you're doing, then you're doing the wrong thing. So you have to think of these things. You can't go on, looking at this book called the Holy Bible, King James Version. What such pride you take in that? I tell you, it is rather a very, very hideous scene or sight to see that you would take pride in this King James Version of the Holy Bible. Why so? Why so? Why at all? It's because you don't know. You don't know why you're doing that. All you want is a little bit of pride for the life you want to live. And I thought it is written in your own Holy Bible. It says, the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. These are not the love of the Father. It's written in the epistles of John. And I think, you were not paying attention. You thought not having the lust of the eyes is about shutting your eyes to the world. Not having the lust of the flesh is about abstaining from sex. And not having the pride of life is to be very, very humble before God. That very thing that you think is humility, that very thing that you think is abstinence, that very thing that you think is turning away from the world is your pride, your arrogance, and everything. It's taking place everywhere. There is a preacher out there who's called Paul Washer. And then you have this John Hagee, who is pro-Israel. Pro-Israel. Everything is Israel for him. What? Make war with the nations? Is that what you want? Killing Palestinians, innocent Palestinians? What's wrong with the Palestinians? What wrong did they do you? They want the land. The land belongs to them. Everything belongs to everyone. What's wrong with any one of you? Share whatever you have. You're humans. You come from one race. You come from a single person called Adam, according to your book. I believe you came from chimpanzees anyway. But, according to your book, you come from one man. So you're brothers. Share the land that you have. Give it away. Why not? Why not? So, holding yourself back like this and following words in a book, thinking that you're going to be someone great, it's not going to make you be anything at all. You might as well follow the examples set by people who live in Hollywood, who sing your songs on the radio. These are the angels of, the divine one, I would say. These are divine angels inspiring you to a life of beauty, a life of love and peace. And I think you missed all of it just by trying to be, some religious prude out there, just because you have some kind of a prestige in it. I'm a very, very holy Christian right now. I think you're going the wrong way. Life is not about having a religion. It's about living it. It's about living it. Life is not about a book of codes. It's about you expressing and experiencing your very essence of existence. Yeah? So you have to listen to these things. You have to make sense of what's coming in to your mind before you even execute the instructions that you think are instructions. They're actually urges and desires. Learn them first. Yeah? So this reading of the Holy Bible, proud and haughty scorner is his name, who dealeth in proud wrath. I think I found them in the Christians. They can't wait for this Jesus to come back from heaven to kill all the enemies of Israel. Israel is the universe. It's not one particular country. That's a physical Israel. That's just a metaphor. The real story is God's Israel is the universe. The universe is his Israel. That is his Israel. He whom God helps. Everyone is his Israel. They don't have to be called Israel. They just have to be called humans. God helps the humans because he loves them. He gives them their food, he gives them their clothes, he gives them their roof, and he gives them fun. Think about it. Fun is an important part of life. You don't have fun, you'll get into boredom and kill yourself. So think about these things. Apparently, I've reached the end of my preaching today, and I hope you'll join me in the next episode, or rather, the next sermon. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to the end, if you did so. And I hope, you'll get the message out there. If not to the people around you, at least to yourself, Don't be afraid of the Christians. They are a bunch of liars who don't even know what they're talking about. They only want to get to heaven. They say they love Jesus because they know if they don't, they're going to go to hell. So to prevent yourself from going to hell, I better say sweet words to this motherfucking Jesus, and say, I love you, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, you're so beautiful. Your love for me is so wonderful, just to get to heaven, So they only want to get to heaven. It's not about loving Jesus for who he is. Jesus lives inside of everyone. He's the breath of life, but they don't get this message. So they keep looking for this Jesus who sits up on a throne in a heaven that is in their imaginations, and they worship this thing on Sundays, when Jesus himself wouldn't want you to worship him as God. It's written in the Bible. If you read the book of Revelations, it shows you clearly, when John bowed down, Jesus actually told him, see to it that you do not do it. I am of your brethren, the prophets and the saints. That's it. And the servants of God. That's all. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing because I have a problem with memory verses. Right? So I hope you understand what I'm trying to share with you. And yeah, if you like the message and you think this can contribute to people around you, please share this around. Not for my popularity, but, people should know that this book's not evil. It teaches you to think. That's all. The Holy Bible teaches you to think. You can use it as a tool to be inquisitive, to learn different concepts. Always try to go above what is written on the letter. Always see yourself as the writer. What did you intend to convey? You'll get the message anyway. You'll get the message. Understand? So, thank you for listening once again. I'm going to end this sermon right now. Until we meet again. Shalom Aleichem.